Hey guys, I want you to watch these two gameplay clips and spot as many differences as you can, alright? You ready? Let's go. So that's the end of the clip, and if you spotted 4 differences, then you're among the 1% of players. But if you didn't, then don't sweat it. The changes are really subtle, but it has a huge impact on the feel of the game. And the good news is we're gonna break down and go over all of them later in this video, so stick around for that. Hey, if all of this seems pretty new to you, well, don't worry, I got you. I'm VT, and I've been working on my dream game for a while now. It's quite an ambitious project, aiming for both mobile, PC, and hopefully even consoles. It's planned to be an open world game with a lot of parkour and movement, combat, and even superpowered abilities based off JoJo. Although, let's be real, I'm trying to keep the scope small enough so that I can actually finish this thing. I've also been making devlogs documenting every step of the development, and this is the 6th entry, so you're pretty early or pretty late if you are watching this in the future. But you can always go back and watch the other devlogs right after you finish watching this one. Respectfully, of course. Well, in the last devlog, we left off at the environmental takedowns, and I was able to make the wall takedown even though it was a bit rough around the edges.
Oh my god, bro.
Oh, hell no, man.
So the first thing we need to do is to make some animations for the rest of the environmental takedowns, which are the corners, slabs, railings, windows, and the ledges. In order not to waste too much time on this so we can focus on more gameplay mechanics, I had to speedrun through the placeholder animations for all the environmental animations, and this is what we got. Okay, so you guys already saw this wall takedown in the last devlog. After that, I made this one for corners, and then I made this one for slabs, this one for windows, this one's for railings, and then finally I made this one for the ledges. Well, I was only able to make one for each, but in the final game there will be multiple variations, including variants with the target facing backwards as well, for those sweet stealth moments. Okay, I know I just snapped that dude's neck, but I haven't implemented a health system yet, so all the entities are sort of. So I've been playing around with the combat system, and I mean, it's alright, like you can hit enemies and dodge, there's also takedowns, but that's all there is to it. It needed a bit more variety, so I needed to add a throw mechanic, which works by holding down the throw button near an enemy, which triggers this action where you grab him and then you start to spin around, and the longer you hold down the button, the faster it gets. It did get a little too fast though, so you know I had to nerf it. You also throw him by letting go of the grab button, and he hits away nearby enemies while spinning. But you're definitely not invincible while doing this. You can still get hit, which cancels out the action. It's a bit buggy now, the main issue being the inconsistency when trying to direct where to throw the enemy, but I'll figure out how to fix that soon enough. I needed a little break before moving on to the next phase, so I decided to play some of my favorite games to wind down. I played Spider-Man 2, Dying Light 2, and Shadow of Mordor 2, which is actually called Shadow of War, but I wanted to keep the rhythm going. And that was when I noticed something that I really shouldn't have. Okay, enough with the suspense. What do these 3 games have in common? Well, apart from being 3D open world games with unique combat systems, I'm actually talking about this one mechanic. Adding a similar mechanic like this to my game's combat system is going to add a lot more synergy to the combat and the parkour. Like, picture this. You are walking down the street, just exploring the open world, and someone at a back alley calls out for your help. Curiously, you go over to them and they lead you deeper inside the alley while trying to distract you with some made-up problem that they need help with. And before you know it, you get surrounded by goons and they want everything that you have on you and they're not taking no for an answer. So naturally, a fight breaks loose and at first you think that you can take them. You land a few good hits on them, you toss them around a bit, but the numbers just keep increasing and you're starting to take some hits too now. Now you're low on health. You look around for a good escape route, but the walls are too tall to grab and too thin for a wall run. And then you spot something that could pull you out of the fight if you play your cards right. So you position yourself and bait one of the enemies to take a swing at you. You hit him with a clean weave and jump off him, pushing him away and using that force to propel yourself just high enough for you to grab onto the fire escape. You hop across to the building and then you get away from the goons while they're still trying to process what just happened. This is also useful for landing sick air punches, like check out this clip. Enough justifying my overscoping impulses. Overscoping coping, if you will. Hey, that sounds catchy. I should get that patented. Hey, wait, hold up.
Patented.
Patented.
Patented. Patented.
Patented.
Patented.
Screw it. So I needed to add an enemy step-up launch. It was sort of out of scope at this point in development, but I figured I'll be able to get it done quick, you know, in and out, 20 minutes adventure. It took 6 days, but it was worth it. Now let me show you how it works. First, I made this animation in Blender. It's a bit slow, but it'll do for now until I get it replaced. Next, I got these 8 dash animations from the locomotion asset pack I was using. And after syncing the initial animations, I made the player jump with a high force and play one of the dash animations, and then I also used the same force in the opposite direction to push the victim into the ragdoll mode. You know, because of what my boy Isaac Newton said. And now here's some gameplay of all that in action. So it's finally time to get into the meat of this video. Now let's backtrack a bit and go over the gameplay clips at the start of the video. Starting off with the dynamic camera. Previously, the game's camera was pretty static, only having one set distance to the player. But now I changed all that and it's pretty close when you're walking or idling, and then it pulls back when the character starts sprinting to give the players a more clear view to navigate. This also pulls back a lot further during combat so the player can be aware of all the enemies on screen. And you just know your boy had to add those cinematic cameras for all the takedowns. The next one is a bit subtle, but I added this camera tilt when you're wall running. It's a nice touch and now I can't even imagine wall running without it. I also added some camera shakes when hitting enemies, when you land too hard after a fall, and if you take some damage. And now let's talk about the final small change I made to the game. So here's a clip of the game before. Pay attention to the facial animations, the mouth to be specific. Notice how it sometimes goes into weird poses that doesn't even make sense. This happens because of something called interpolation, which is pretty useful in general, but for this case it's bad because I want the mouth poses to only change during keyframes, and Unity doesn't support constant interpolation for animation transitions, which explains the issue. I got past this by making my own custom facial animator that only changes the mouth pose with animation events. So now, no more weird mouth scrolling posing. And that's pretty much everything I've been working on since the last devlog. Now, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. The last video did really well, and I genuinely appreciate everyone who's been engaging with the content and joining the Discord. It really means a lot. We're building something amazing together, and I'm hyped to show you guys more in the next devlog. But until then, I'll see you guys when I see you guys.